What is going on, guys? This is your boy Aluo Femi. We are having a late night conversation, and we got two special guests. Got a special guest. We got the King coming all the way out this evening to hang out with us out there from Michigan. You know, D Town up there doing his dang thing, but he's got a special message for you guys. He's gonna give you guys a real big insight to the whispers of the soul and navigating the mental landscape of this journey that we are all on. But we have our king that's coming. He's gonna drop some knowledge on you tonight, as well as we got our buddy, our pal, our old school friend, Coach Charles Floyd, that's coming back with us again, and we're gonna bring him to the stage, and then he is going to introduce the one and only King from D Town. So I don't know if Coach Floyd is in the picture yet. I see him there, but he might be getting the last little things going on before we rock it out. But just a little brief description, guys. In this community that we have, there's no right or wrong answer. We're all here to elevate each other. We're all here to help each other get to a different level in our life, but also a different level in our spirituality. And that's so important nowadays because everything in the world is going on that we may not know exactly where to go or who to go to or how to even address the issues that we're having. And there's a specific way that we can handle the issue. We can freak out and, pull our hair out and go gray and stress, or we can take time to meditate. We can take time to understand the forces at work or why specific things are going a specific way and understand how we can fix it. So I don't know if Coach Floyd is still there, but I know I got the King, the one and only King. He's sitting back, relaxing backstage. He's ready to drop these knowledge on you. Let me see if I can get Coach Floyd to come through. Hey, Coach, you there? I don't know if Coach is there. We see his armoire behind us. I don't know if Coach is there yet. You there, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, all right, all right. We got the one and only Coach Floyd dropping more knowledge on us as we come in. And like I was telling the viewers before, we got the one and only King from D Town. He's gonna drop some major knowledge on us as well. So why don't you elaborate a little bit? I'm rambling a little bit. Why don't you elaborate to the young people what we're going to bring to them today?
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Coach Oluwafemi. I greatly appreciate that. First off, I want to go ahead and say, man, it's 6:30 in the morning over here where I'm at, and as it stands, haven't had any sleep yet, and been up studying and prepping to be able to talk to you all about the connection between mental health and spirituality. So I might look a little bit crazy over here, but I'm ready to rock, and we about to get into it. And it's a pleasure to be here. So, um, and it's a pleasure to have you here as a viewer, wherever you are in the world, and whatever time it is that you will see this. And so, yeah, and we like Coach Oluwafemi said, we're going to be having an amazing host with us today, and a brother that I have a great deal of respect for. Orisha Buemi, Oloye Oba of Michigan, which is a royal title, for kings, in our order here, and so. Yes, it's a pleasure to be able to talk about the connection. I think it's important because last time we came, we spoke about mental health, and we talked about the silent killer, and it's a very real thing. And we want to open the door to talk about spirituality as a path, a road, as an option, a tool, in your deck for being able to maintain your mental health, for being able to elevate your personal fulfillment in life, and overall just to overcome depression, anxiety, you know, the stressors that we face, you know. And so, Yeah. So I want to go ahead and bring up my brother Orisha Buemi here.
All right, I will bring King. I can't. I'm still learning the proper pronunciations and stuff. So I don't want to mean no disrespect or anything. I just call him the King. Let's bring in the King. All right, and you can introduce him when he gets here on the stage. Okay, here we go. Hey King. Hey King, how you doing?
I'm here. Thank you for asking.
I know it's late. I know that it's late there. I'm on the West Coast, and you're over there on the East Coast. And Coach Lloyd has been speaking very highly of you. We spoke a while back, and I said, well, let's see if we can bring the King on to drop some more knowledge in this community that we're building.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So, Coach, I'm gonna let you dive in, and I'm going to be a listener and suck up some of this knowledge. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, as we come here today, brother, as I talked with you earlier, what we want to do is be able to have this conversation from the standpoint of you know like the Leos, you know what I mean, the people who have not yet been able to come into an understanding about anything of the culture, anything of this may be the first time many people will hear certain words. This may be the first time many people will be exposed to certain things, and so we want to approach it with a certain level of you know not only sensitivity but also um what's the word I'm looking for. We want to approach it just being mindful that people will be new. And as my father used to tell me, we want to be good at bending the branch, so that people are able to get the fruits from the tree up top, you know. And so um, I'm hoping we'll be. I'm sure. I'm confident we'll be able to do that today. And yeah, the discussion is, as I said, on mental health, and we're talking about stories of transformation. Maybe personal experiences that relate to how you use your spiritual practices as a way to alleviate um, issues related to mental health. And so I know even before we had this, before we got on today, you mentioned making a small appeasement, to your Ori. And so these, of course, will be new concepts and ways of thinking for people. And we want to, be good about exploring, you know, ourselves to figure out, what are the ways that these things intersect and how they may be able to help the average person, you know.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, thank you for being here also.
I'm honored.
hmm And yes, just another introduction for we connected, off the strength of the music, and my music is deeply spiritual. The music that I make is intended to, you know, uh, express something deep in my soul and reach something deep in the souls of the listeners. I aim to connect with my music, and I feel like you've been somebody who really understood the music, really connected with it on a deep level, and a lot of those songs I feel really like homage and respect, for example, really I feel is a good example of how the song is talking about turning towards spirituality at a time when you know things are hard and mentally it's a struggle, you know, and um, I'm just curious how do you relate to those topics and ideas, or your personal experiences in using um, spiritual practices to maintain positive mental health.
Um, like what you said about
I'm sorry.
needing spiritual practices,
Say that one more time.
about needing them. Can you
Needing
hear
them?
me?
Yes,
Needing them.
yes.
Um, it's very important to recognize that spirituality is a part of existence. You know, in the scientific community, you have people who try to eliminate the imaginative faculties so that they can deal with things meticulously and clearly. But there are people on this planet that have a strong need to understand their place in existence. They need to know who they are, where they came from, what's ahead of them, who cares about them, and their place, on this planet and in this cosmos, this creation. We're very fortunate to have access to West African traditional religion. Before planes, trains, and automobiles, our people communicated with the real God. These are not tablets that were found and translated and unearthed, and where you try to believe in something that you don't know about, that does not talk back to you. These are not books that you find and read and try to believe in some of the names. No, these are primordial divinities, that talk back to you. They can answer your questions. They can communicate with you directly or through a high priest or priestess. So we are not talking about a speculation about what you are or what your life is or where your place is in creation based on philosophy or psychology or anthropology or sociology or even astrology. We're talking about communicating with the forces that control the human race. And so when we come to Isheshe or the West African culture, the tradition, I'll say that instead of going into what Isheshe is. Uh, we're given the opportunity to make divination, to make divination. And divination is the divine will revealed to a human being, one or more human beings, about something that will happen, or that has happened, or that is happening, or perhaps all three. So I was very fortunate to have encountered some West African uh, spiritual practitioners. A lot of people, they spend their whole life, making assumptions about who they are and what their life is, what their place is. And there's nothing wrong with, believing in God, having a belief system. I encourage that. Um, but West African Isheshe is a no system. It is not a belief system. It is a system of knowing. So I would like to start with the belief systems, um, because that is how we all get here. Most of us in the diaspora, rather. Um, so spirituality for a lot of us is one of the primary components, if not the primary component of mental health. Um, you know, the more you trust uh, a creator, or who you believe is in control of your life or existence, um, there is an inner awakening that transpires as you make the transition from belief to to knowing. So, you know, we have the privilege of knowing what human beings really are, you know, as opposed to just making assumptions. From a Western standpoint, things are approached um, in a way that, you know, they have no evidence of God. So they don't start with the premise that there is a God. They start from a scientific premise, you know, just scientific study of basic, human biology, sociology, and psychology, and anthropology. So if you want to talk about mental health from that standpoint, then we can get into the spiritual implications of what that is and exactly what a human being is.
So, um, yeah, I was 100% with you, and then when you said talking about what a human being is, I was just like, oh man, like we getting deep fast. You know what I mean? We get to
Yeah.
talk talking about the, you know,
Well,
because to
when
talk
we
because to talk because to talk about because to talk about what a human is, you have to begin to talk about what a human is not. Also, you know what I mean, and what kind
yeah,
of things
that
aren't human.
approach. Yeah.
So, but I love where we're going, and I want to dial it back and you know uh mention the topic of prayer, and faith. And I consider, I think people can agree that prayer and faith, go hand in hand. It's very important spiritual principles among, many different practices, religions, beliefs, and over across time periods. And, you know, um, I feel that if I heard you earlier, you said, you know, obviously or blatantly, spirituality is an important component or the core component of mental health. Is that what you said? Did you say it
Um, it's
was the core
one
component
of the
or?
primary, if not the primary component of mental health
Mhm.
for some of us.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, you know, um, prayer is a very important spiritual practice. And uh, I want to talk a little bit about faith as well, and how faith is the intersection between mental health and spirituality. And so make sure y'all stay tuned because we're gonna go deep into this. So I want to, uh, with that being said, I feel called to just do a light prayer here, for us as we continue, and I'm gonna do this in the style of you know, um, Isheshe for the sake of the conversation. So of course, we pay homage, to Olodumare, the creator of the earth. We pay homage to Olodumare, the creator of heaven. We pay homage to Ile, the Mother Earth, and you know, we pay homage to all the benevolent benevolence in the world that supports us. And so we'll move forward there and say that so yeah, Ashe on that.
So,
And on the subject of prayer, I want it to be known that, or talk about how, there's no time when one shouldn't pray. You know, you should always pray. My favorite time to pray is now. So um but I do want to talk about when to pray. So some important points, would be first thing in the morning, as you begin your day. I think it's best even when, you get to praying before you even open your eyes, when you realize that you're awake and you haven't even opened your eyes yet, to begin your day. And I like to, as I say on the song Homage and Respect, it talks about holding my head in the song. And that's a literal, when it comes to praying, first thing in the morning, I like to hold my head and pray to my head, and which is called the Ori, in traditional Yoruba language. The head is the Ori, and it's a very important spiritual component. You know, um, it's the pivotal point, and you know, it's like mental health, your head, your Ori. It's like it's directly hand in hand. Last week we talked about the silent killer, and it's like I talked about how, you may or may not notice, but Lil Wayne has an interview where he's talking about how he sits down and has a conversation talking about how mental health is a real thing, and he says he knows it's real because when he was younger he pulled the trigger, and she shot herself. And um I think that when you talk about how important it is to keep the Ori together, and they letting you know like this is the key component, even if excuse me, even if everything around you is favorable, and there's all kinds of good, and there's all kinds of abundance and wonderful, and the ability for you to succeed, which is the absolute reality. If your mind isn't in order and attuned with the reality of what is, then all is lost, for the most part. It could be it's game over pretty much. It's like if the mind isn't right, things aren't right. So again, praying first thing in the morning allows you to really align this, and to say, um, you know, I would say, Ori boy mio, I'm asking my head to support me. I'm asking my head you know, to lift me up, to carry me, Ori boy mio, right? Me, boy, Ori boy mio. And oh, it's just like, that's that exclamation point. You feel me? Like, and so, again, I'm sharing these as spiritual practices and tools that I feel bridge the gap again between spirituality and um, brain fog. Y'all, like I said, we touching 7 a.m. now, but spirituality and mental health, right? And so, with that being said, yeah, Ori Buemio, Ori Buemio, Ori Buemio, Ori Olami, that's, Ori save me, Ori save me. I'm asking my head to save me, be there to protect me, avert me from danger, lead me to the right path. And whatever it is that I want to pray for, I'm going to pray to my head, first thing in the morning, first thing in the rising. And it's a powerful tool to start your day on the right track and to align yourself with your highest destiny, to be able to, you know, speak things into existence even. And so that's a great time to pray. Another great time to pray is uh I don't know, what would you say is another great time to pray other than waking up in the morning?
Um, Maybe before bed,
Mm-hmm.
if we're doing a layman's um show, you can
Mm-hmm.
go with some of the traditional times that
Mm-hmm.
people pray,
Mm-hmm.
before meals, before bed, when you wake up, of course,
Mm-hmm.
you know. There's always, room to be thankful, you know. You can be
Mm-hmm.
thankful for waking up that day. Praying to your Ori is mandatory for some of us, before you get out of bed. Um, then there could be a prayer like if you belong to an Orisha, they may request a prayer, first thing in the morning. Um, Praying before meals, I've always been a fan of it. Before I became a practitioner of, West African traditional religion,
Mm-hmm.
of what our ancestors were practicing before slavery. Um, I cared about praying before meals, just saying thank you, thinking about people that don't have, food, and being grateful that I did. maybe pray for them to have food sometime before the day is over. Something simple like that. Um, and then before bed, you know, um, I have images in my mind of people down on their knees before bed, saying thank you, or, please help me make it through another day tomorrow, or help bring my son or my grandson home tonight safely.
You talking that
Please
talk. You talking that talk.
provide provide for our family. If
Mhm.
we have any chronological predators, the first of the month, the rent is due. We have dates that certain bills are due. Gas, power, water. The basics. You might have car insurance. You have paychecks coming. You might need more hours. Uh, you might have other things going on in your life, maybe a job interview or your children are struggling in school. Just things that you take the time to pray for, that you may have thought about throughout the prayer, to alleviate some of that stress, um, you know, to circle back on mental health, you know. Um, if you believe that there's a creator and you believe that the creator is in control, then a level of trust can develop as you deepen spiritually in yourself, in God, you know, to handle things and in your life, and of course in other people as well. If you learn how to, if they develop the rapport and the stability, consistency, I would say, to be trusted, and come true for you as well. But initially, trusting that there's a higher power that is in control. We say it every day, everything happens for a reason, and that to me is, the tipping point, when you lean into uh, terms like omnipotence, there's a tipping point, if you're on a spiritual path, where when you say everything happens for a reason, you're acknowledging, a higher power um, that is designing circumstances of your life, you know, and unless you're just an existentialist, then the reason of life and the meaning of life is to discover and talk about the reason and the meaning of life. But if you know that there's a God, and you take it beyond philosophy, um, then you can learn to trust, the forces that are controlling your life. And this is, before any divination or appeasement of the divinities, just a basic spiritual connection. You can start to trust life. You can start to trust God to control things. And the beauty of the concept of everything happens for a reason is that you can find those reasons, and you can find those reasons to derive significance in to your existence. You can look back on things that went right and didn't go wrong, and you can look for God. You can look for God's hand, you know, for blessings. You can find people who have things that didn't go well for them, and you can find favor for yourself. Um, and you can also take some credit as well. I made that decision. You know, um, I could have done this differently, and that's a big part of um, mental health as well, is responsibility, because we all come into this world um, in a state of not knowing, in a state of ignorance and innocence to some degree. And so just as we incarnate, and some people have the benefit of an essentiae, where they know what they are, and their tribe and family knows what they are before they even learn how to speak, versus people who, spend 40 or 50 years or whole lifetimes really not knowing who they are, not knowing if there's a God, um, not knowing the difference between soul and spirit, fate or destiny. These are words that we throw around in the so-called New Age. These are definite terms. These can be defined very clearly, with West African Isheshe. So, like they said, there are levels. And one of the primary levels to a strong mental health is understanding the victim mentality, you know, and what a sense of entitlement really is. Um, so, you know, for us being children of the diaspora, we have seen the way that socioeconomic conditions have affected, our lifestyles. We grow up in a different socioeconomic um, structure, some of us. And if we don't, we have family members or associates or people that look like us, that are struggling. So statistically, we can say, um, these people that grow up in these neighborhoods make this much money generally. They have this amount of lifespan, a life expectancy. Um, and there are lifestyles. If you heard like generational curses, they talk about these type of things. Um, when you talk about poverty, my an old timer that I respect very much that groomed me is from Baltimore, and he was telling me, about the civil rights movement, you know, and the resistance and what poverty in America really looked like. I'm not talking about um, Kensington, in Philadelphia, where you have obvious drug addiction and mental health issues that are just, sucking your ability to function out of your life. I'm talking about people that are functioning human beings that are just in poverty. Not somebody who gets 40 or $50 a day and spends it on drugs. I'm talking about people that don't have food. And he was telling me how, you know, during the 60s, I think he was saying, the women, they'd be pregnant and they'd have a box of cornstarch and they'd be licking their hand and dipping it in the cornstarch, and licking it just to get nutriments in their body. It's always good to add context to your struggle. It can always be worse. They say, the man with no shoes complained until he met the man with no feet. And then you can go on, the man with no feet complained until he met the man with no legs. The man with no legs complained until he met the man with no arms or legs. You can keep going. There's you can always lose something. You can always lose something. So, um, if the power of taking responsibility and for the decisions that you make and being grateful for the blessings that you have, you can create happiness, in a very stable mental state. Um, we have people that are disenfranchised, that struggle, they suffer. They grow up in the projects. Some of them, they go to crime just to make ends meet. It's not like they want to be criminals. Their dad's gone. Their mom might be working two jobs or strung out on drugs. There's no food in the house. So he's saying, if I have to go pick up this bag to put food in my fridge, then I'm gonna do that. You know, and there are people in those same projects that struggle with those same circumstances, and they became lawyers, doctors, engineers. You know, um, so it really depends on what you are, what you're made out of, and what you were, created for. What you're here to do. But to label yourself as a victim It is the state of helplessness that accompanies it, you know. And that helplessness, it can be a catalyst to spirituality, because when you feel helpless, you might look for God. You know, when people go to jail, they look for God. You know, you might only spend a weekend in the county, but you know, you had the Bible, you know, or the Quran, or you know, whatever it was that you believed in, you know, and it might have been because this is the first time that you've been alone, or because things something shaky in your life and you know that you lost control. You know, I lost control. I need a higher power now. You know, whoever's in control, please talk to me. You know, help me be okay with life, you know, and what's going on. And take control of it, and help me, you know, put my life back together, you know, or get me out of here, so to speak, you know, or whatever, you know, the case may be. You know, I'm not judging. You know, I believe that God rearranges our lives to make sure that we give him the proper attention if need be, you know. Um, so yeah. So helplessness is not always bad if it's a catalyst to, you know, spiritual development. But the sense of helplessness that comes with finding yourself to be a victim is what disempowers you, and it makes you feel more weak, more vulnerable to forces that you don't, you know, understand or control, and more exposed, you know, spiritually and psychologically, um, because you start looking at what you're missing. You start looking at, um, you know, the things that you don't have, and you may feel a sense of entitlement to more without the work ethic and the problem solving skills to change your condition. You know, dissatisfaction is a catalyst to changing one's condition, but there still should be a sense of contentment and appreciation for where you are, you know, because it could be so much worse. You know, you could be on a plantation, you know, you could be on a slave ship. You know, your children could have been born unhealthy, you know, just simple things that we take for granted, you know. Like when I start saying thank you, like that's a good place to start. I'm still alive. Thank you. My children are healthy. Thank you. A lot of people do not have healthy children, you know, they don't. And that could be a lifetime, you know, thing. You know, if you have a child that's not okay, that's you might not even be able to work a job ever again, you know, if you have to take care of your child. You know, that could change everything. You know, so these are things that we take for granted. You know, I have food. Thank you. I have clothing. Thank you. I have shelter. Thank you. You know, I have my health. Thank you. I have the things that I need to be okay. You know, the basic standards. You know, if you look at you know, the hierarchy of needs, you know, since we're talking about mental health. Um, I believe it's Maslow, right? The hierarchy of needs, you know, and it's like, you know, you need
Maslow's
water.
hierarchy of needs.
Yeah. You need air, you need water, you need food, and, you know, clothing is good, you know, unless you live on the equator or near to it, clothing, and shelter, you know, from the elements, you know, whether it's a hammock on the beach or a little shack somewhere or a mansion, you know, or a car, you need shelter from the elements, you know. Um, we are the mammals that are born that need the most nourishment and tending to, you know. When you look at, you know, uh, reptiles, and you go into, you know, uh, the different levels of, you know, life, biological life, and you get to primates, you know, and then you start seeing, you know, us, we're not hairy, we need clothes, you know. There are things that we can't just eat, we need to cook them, you know, so we have to have some type of standard of civility, or at least technological know-how to survive, you know, unless you're just hunting, fishing, gathering, you know, you still need to know how to make a fire, you know, to be able to consume some of those goods. you know. So you could say, thank you for giving me the psychological soundness to be able to put food in my mouth. And these things may seem trivial until you lose them. If you ever met somebody that was in a bad accident, or something like that, they're like, man, I'm just so happy I can walk again. You like, man, why you so happy? You just walking around all happy. What you so happy for? Your life, like, I'm walking. I'm happy, you know. Um,
100%.
so
I get that.
so as we start to show appreciation for the things that we do have, we may notice things that we don't have that we want. And that's a good time to pray. I pray for these things. Moreover, I pray for the ability uh, um, to develop a methodology to acquire them. You know, when you pray, it's possible that things will fall out of the sky, but 99 times out of 100, you're going to have to go get it somehow. Even if you have to make it to the ATM, you have to go do something. Um, so um, gratitude, gratitude, saying thank you. They say, when you pray, there's please, and then there's thank you. So please, can I have that? Thank you, I got it. That's good. Thank you for the
Yeah.
things that I have. That's where I usually start. That's
And
me.
you're really good if you learn how to say thank you in advance. And you make the prayer and you say thank you and have that faith and trust. Just like when you put that seed in the ground, you have that faith and that trust that it's going to produce the fruit in which you intended to get from planting that seed of prayer.
That's a much higher level. It's a much higher level than where I am right now. But I like that. We will definitely get there. Yeah, that's a much
Absolutely.
higher level. That's
And
a
it's about
creative. That's a creative standpoint. Yeah.
Mhm.
So so once you take responsibility for whenever you feel that you started making decisions that affected your life, whether it's age 4 or 7 or around your first memories, or whether you want to talk about being 12 or 13 or 16 or 18. Some people start at 18, 21. Some people start at, 27, 28, 29. They say your frontal lobe doesn't develop until you're almost 30. So why take responsibility for anything before that, right? Um, I would say it's very important to learn how to take responsibility for the things that you control and that you had a degree of control over, the circumstances in your life. If you start studying or learning about spirituality, you learn about, incarnation, reincarnation, destiny, the things that you were created to do, um, things like that. And then you can begin to really understand what responsibility is, and what you are, as more than just a biological organism, an aura, you know, in the end, a human being. Um, so, but just starting with the basics, I take responsibility for the decisions that I made and the life that I've created for myself. And and now that I've taken responsibility for what I've done thus far, I can once again take responsibility for things that I have not yet done. And I have now empowered myself to have control of my life and not be a victim, complaining about, these forces that have just created my life that I'm stuck with somehow. I am now in control of my life. Um, and that is a big step towards mental health. Is being in control of your life and taking
Yeah, I'm
responsibility
celebrating
for the
being in
things that you
control of my
control.
life, man. I'm celebrating just that idea, just hearing it. Control of my life. Yes.
There you go. That's what we want, right?
Ashe.
I say. So, and the beauty of it is you start off without control. You're thrown into a family, a house, a neighborhood, a school system, a religious system, a culture, an ethnicity, where you did not consciously or choose, these things that you're aware of, um, and there is actual helplessness. Being born a mammal is a state of helplessness. If you were a lizard, you probably would never be helpless, because once you come out of that egg, you know exactly what to do. You know, reptiles, they know what to do. You know, amphibians, they they pretty much got it down. You know, us, we need to be spanked and wiped down and washed and fed. You know, um, so there is helplessness. As a human being, and there's a support system. To make sure that we are nurtured and reared into survival. A community, a village, a tribe, a family, a nuclear family, a household, um, brothers and sisters, grandparents, and when we start dealing with the higher levels of mental health, begin to talk about the value of community, the value of the village, of the family structure, the family unit. Um, so, um, and then having a healthy sense of self-esteem, you know, what they call ego, which is used as a bad word, so we might leave it alone until we establish a consensus about what that means. But just a sense of self-identity, self-esteem, self-worth, a healthy idea of what you are, you know, and and then you learn the way that the people around you's perception of you, influences your perception of yourself. And that's another strong component of mental health, is a healthy self-esteem. But right now we're dealing with the victim mentality and taking responsibility, taking control. When you don't feel like you have control, there can be fear, there can be instability. Um, you can deal with different types of mental blockages, fear of the unknown, um, fear of losing control. Um, so uh, if you're raised in a family where your parents have control, then you don't have to worry about it too much. If you're raised in a family where obviously there are forces, and I'm not talking about spiritual forces at this point, which obviously spiritual forces control, but I'm talking about just basic um, control of day to day circumstances. There are people that are raised by single parents that have to work 2, 3 jobs. They're never home. You're at home and you're like, when she comes home, we're gonna eat. And then you have people who, they have never gone to an empty fridge a day in their life, and they never will. They don't have those type of problems. They live on a different level. They have different types of problems. A lot of them are not that happy. They have mental health issues. You know, um, and they're not very grateful either. They don't appreciate the things that they take for granted. Um, so just a small infusion of gratitude can bring you to a much healthier mental state. Learning uh, the the delicacy and the balance between helplessness and self-empowerment and control. um it's like a phase in life. You start off pretty helpless, and you have to trust the people around you to take care of you until you figure out how to cook your own food, how to do your own laundry, um you know uh until you get to the point where you actually have bills of your own. One of my favorite dynamics was, letting the child take control for a month. Here's all the money, here's the bills. What are you gonna do? They're like, I'm gonna buy a Super Nintendo, I'm gonna buy a Sega Genesis, I'm buying a PlayStation, I'm buying an Xbox, I'm buying a big screen TV, I'm buying a whole bunch of candy, and I'm about to have a blast, and it's my world. And it's like, okay, so you're gonna need some stomach medicine for all that candy you bought. You're gonna need to pay the power bill because you can't play video games without power. So I'm gonna just let you figure it out in about 7 days when that shut off notice comes. When your game cut off, then you're gonna be like, okay, Dad, take control. It's your turn now. Take control. You know, a lot of us were not raised in households where we have seen people actually have control of their lives. So we don't learn how to take responsibility. We don't learn how to um, take control of ourselves and our environment and our circumstances to change our condition, you know, or be grateful for the condition that we're in, or both. Um, so once you say, "I'm not a victim, I'm a controller. I made these decisions that created my life, and I will make the rest of the decisions that create my life," then I now in a state of mental clarity and resourcefulness because I'm ready to engage in um, problem solving, which is what life really is all about. You know, from a certain standpoint, it's about problem solving. You know, so as long as there are people that are hungry and there's enough food for all of them, and they don't have food and they got too much food, if there is such a thing, then there is room for problem solving. You know, if you identify a problem, you know, uh, and so that's kind of where you can find another level of spiritual um, enrichment and service. You know, service to others, service to humanity, charity. You know, charity is very important. Philanthropy, and it helps you develop the virtue of benevolence, um, and compassion can also be found when you see people in a state that is more depraved than your own. You know, you can care about them. Um, so, but first, of course, you have to feed yourself. You know, before you can feed other people, unless perhaps you have a child that you feel has more um, important dietary needs than your own. But you know, when you get on the plane and they tell you, they say, in case of emergency and the oxygen masks are deployed, use yours first. Because if you try to affix someone else's, you may, you know, lose consciousness, you know, because you don't have enough oxygen to function on those levels. So make sure that you put your face mask on first and start in your own backyard. When you want to change the world, you start in your living room, you know, in your house, in your mind, in your world, um, and make sure that you have that mental clarity, you know, that you need. You know, make sure you asphyxiate that oxygen mask so that you can function on this planet. Um, from a spiritual standpoint, we call it Ibori or Ibibo. When you appease your Ori, your destiny, your inner spirit, right? Um, and that is, you know, just even access to that type of spirit. We're very fortunate. Very fortunate. Can I take 5 minutes, please?
100%. Yeah, that was a mind blowing moment right there, man. I just want to say when you talked about how the oxygen mask in this case is making sure that your Ori is laced up, making sure that your mental health is in alignment, you know, with what's needed to keep you sustained in this plane.
I need to take a 5 minutes. I have a very important call.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Handle your business. Yeah. So, uh, carrying on where he left off, you know, he he mentioned Oluwafemi. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, I was here, was listening. I was just making sure, he said he had a call he had to take care of, so I was like, let me not leave you just high and dry there. So I was been listening and taking in all this wonderful knowledge, man. He's dropping dimes, dropping some serious knowledge that a lot of people don't really take time to understand. So yeah, definitely.
absolutely, man. We taking the time today for sure. You know, we don't have time to wait. You know, we don't have time to waste. we have time to get going. You know, we have time to use it as best we can. That's our most valuable resource, our most precious resource. So if you don't know, you know what you know. So again, like I was saying on the topic of prayer, you know, the truth is there's really no time that one should not pray. You know, it's very pertinent to note that prayer is, like you said, it's one of those things, you know, that helps you to maintain, you know, it helps you to get the mental picture of what it is you want to be able to get, helps you to send out that message to you know the creator of what it is that you're in need of, or what it is that you want, or what it is that you feel, and maintain that connection. So you know, in the rock when the sun is rising and you hopping up, you know, that's a great time to pray. When it's noon, you know, I'll tell you the truth, every time you look at your clock and you realize another hour has gone by, that's a great time to say thank you. That's a great time to say thank you. I'm glad I'm alive. When you see that, yeah, I made it. When I got on this call, it was 6 something in the morning. I made it to 7 a.m. Let's give
Thank
thanks.
you.
Let's and gratitude. I'm grateful to be here. I still got breath in my lungs. I still have sight. I can hear. I can move and plan and plot, you know, imagine and dream and listen to great music and all of these great things. You know, before I go to bed, you know, in the night hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, let's pray. You know, celebrate the new year, the new month, new week. You know, happy Sunday, happy Monday, right? Monday we getting back to work, getting to the Monday on the Monday. You feel me?
Money
So
on a Monday, right? Money on
yeah,
a Monday.
yeah.
Well,
So
I know that it is what 7, almost 8 o'clock there. I know you got some things you got to get done. We've been chatting it up, dropping so much knowledge for an hour with the King from D Town.
hmm
Um, I know he had to get off and he had to take care of some business. He's got somebody that's needing his undivided attention at the moment. Um, but I definitely want us to be able to continue the conversation so that we can dive even deeper because there's going to be people that were like they catching this on the replay and they're going to be like, well, what, what are they talking about, with their ori, with their praying, and you know most of us pray to the most high God, and we pray to him, and i.e. would be in a different culture that the most high God would be Oludumare, correct? Am I right?
absolutely, Olodumare is the primal force. You know,
And the thing that a lot of people are individuals that are stepping into or just awakening to their spirituality, they don't know who is among them, who's walking with them in their day-to-day life, why certain things happen and you can't explain why those certain things happen. So those are the questions that I know a lot of people, even myself, had and continue to have as we continue on our spiritual journey. It's very intriguing. There's lots of knowledge, lots of um, books, lots of literature that has to be read, but not only read. We have we have the king, and we have other individuals that are on different levels because there's there's levels to this. There's levels. So we definitely want to be able to keep having conversations and keep coming back for more so we can continue to elevate, educate, and help others get to what we're all trying to get to: the bag, the money, the peace, the calm. But it starts within, and once we get it within, then we can exuberate it out, and we can live it, breathe it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it every all the days of our life, and every day that we wake up in the morning and be like, thank you God, I have air in my lungs. Thank you God that I have my eyes, I have my sight, I have the feeling in my arms, the I can hear my heart beating in my chest, things of that. My lungs are inflating and deflating, things of that nature.
100%, 100%.
So I know you're getting tired. I'm looking at you like, man, he's like, I gotta get some rest in before my the remaining of my day starts.
Man,
um
I still feel fired up. You know, I wanna be able to touch on the topic of faith and how it intersects between mental health and spirituality, because faith is a very big component of spirituality. But
yeah,
you know,
it
when you have
definitely
true faith,
is.
Hmm. When you have true faith,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to experience, the outcome of that faith in the present, and being able to experience the reality of the outcome of your faith. Um, it helps to alleviate things going on with you mentally, and we'll talk more about this in depth, because I know it may sound a bit different, right now, but yeah, having faith helps you to alleviate anxiety. It helps you to alleviate worrying about things because you have faith in God to be there for you, and faith in whatever you believe in. This is not about telling people that about how they should do anything, or this is just about talking about tools and resources that you can use as you see fit, and take them, and you know what they say, take what you need, leave what you don't. And
Facts.
I would hope that everyone here will find that there are a lot of things that they need here, and feel free to engage with us. Let us know what you think. Give us feedback, you know, and stay tuned for the next show. Lock in to Wills to Wealth. Check out the Wills to Wealth Facebook page, of course, for more info. Join our group. Lock in there and be a part of the community. Continue to grow. Continue to expand. Every day and every way, we're here to get greater and greater, better and better, stronger and stronger. And I just pray for security and peace for all of those under the sound of my voice. Ashe.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. As well, guys, as you guys know, like he said, like Coach said, we have Wills to Well Facebook page. It's not only talking about spirituality, which is the main focal point, but it's also talking about us giving you the tools to get to that also elusive bag that we're all trying to get to. But there's pieces, and why we call it the Wills to Wealth is because there's wills to get it, and having a strong spiritual connection with source, with universe, is a pivotal key for your will to be properly inflated to the proper psi, so you can get down the road and not have any turbulence in your wheels turning this way, you're going this way, you're going this way. So just make sure you guys stay tuned. We're not always going to be, you know so serious. We want you guys to be able to come back for more and be a sponge, because as when we're kids, before we have really the sign of acknowledgement, like King was saying, we're sponges. We're just sucking in everything, sucking in everything. So now, as we get older, we try to teach the future generations. So we're on the step. We're on the right path. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep hustling. We're going to keep giving you the best possible knowledge to help you get to the best possible outcome in your life. And we want to be able to be pivotal in your life and be able to say, you know what, this person helped me here, this person helped me here, and you can always come back for more, because we're always here. We're not too hard to find. Coach Floyd's not too hard to find. I'm not too hard to find. You see him. If you guys want to donate to
I'm
Coach
hard to
Floyd
find,
down here at
man.
the bottom,
Y'all can find me.
say
Y'all can find me. I said I'm hard to find, man. I'm
you're hard to you're hard.
Yeah,
It's really hard. It's really hard to
yeah. Y'all,
find you on
yeah,
Instagram. I am Coach Floyd. It's
yeah,
really hard. that
yeah.
that bright blue and
They'll be
yellow.
like, yeah, I'm tucked away somewhere, man, across the waters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm over
Oh
here
no,
relaxing.
yeah, you are. You are a little farther
Fine.
away,
You know what I
but
mean?
they can't physically touch you, but
Yeah.
they can electronically connect with you. They can hit
Oh
up
man, I be
your
booked up,
Instagram.
man. I be booked up, man. I'm hard to even get up with, man. They be trying to, they can't reach out and touch me, so they want to get on the video calls, man. And
Well, that's why that's why we got your cash up there at the bottom, so they can book a time with you, so you can give them the proper knowledge that they need face to face, right? You can make time. Time is money, and we all know that you got a lot of knowledge that will help these individuals get down the road, right? We all know that, right? So if you guys want to schedule some time with Coach Floyd, you can find him on Instagram and set up an appointment, message him, and he can slide you in his busy schedule so that you can get one-on-one training if you need it. He is a certified coach in multiple aspects. So whatever you need, he's got you. And if he doesn't got you, he knows somebody that will be able to get you.
Yeah,
So
just make sure y'all say y'all from Wills to Wealth, man. I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Oluwafemi, for Wills to Wealth.
I
You know,
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just
as a
let him
matter of
know.
fact, for the first 3 people that hit me up and say Wills to Wealth, I'm gonna do something crazy, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you all a free coaching session that you can be able to, you know, tap in with me, so you can, figure out, these secrets to being able to prevent you from continuing to have more and more anxiety, to be able to prevent you from having, battles with depression, and really just save you from being having to go through it alone, and being able to you know um yeah, be there for you. Yeah, I'm gonna said, I'm a little tired, but
Yeah, I'm tired.
maybe
I
that's
feel
why
it.
I'm giving away free sessions and stuff, like I like I like I just got free sessions to give away or something. But yeah, first 3 people, y'all act fast. Matter of fact, follow me on Instagram at I am Coach Floyd. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook as well, Charles Floyd the Third. And let's make it happen. The early bird gets the worm. Take advantage of this opportunity. Poor people are poor because they're passing over opportunities repeatedly. POOR, right? And so stop passing over opportunities. Get this free coaching session. Let's talk to you about how you can get things in order, on all fronts.
Definitely, definitely will be giving more of this information out, get it out there so everybody that's maybe not here, that's catching it on the replay, will definitely be able to get connected with you so that they can get on the right track. The right track is key, and we got plenty of people that are in our tentacle reach that will help you and help us be able to give you the proper information. If we don't know something, trust and believe we know somebody that knows it. Trust and believe that. There's wealth of knowledge here. So I know Coach Floyd has to get out of here at 6 a.m., 6, 7 o'clock in the morning with there. I was seeing the light earlier. I don't know what it looked like now, but I can see the sun coming and beating on it. Like, man, I got to get some sleep. But we had the king from the D town. He was on here. He had an important phone call that he had to take care of. He just sent the message, said sorry, but he had a really important phone call that he needed to take care of. So he appreciates everybody that stopped through and everybody that will catch this on the replay. We definitely will bring him back when he's able to come back. He's busy as well. Coach Lloyd is coming to us this evening over here on the West Coast. I'm not in Central Standard Time. I'm on Pacific Standard Time now, so we're all over the place. And he's overseas and I'm over here, so we're trying to give you the best opportunities to win at life, and that's what we're all trying to do: win at life. So if we can help you win at life, we want to do that. You got anything else to say, Coach, before I let you go and get you some beauty sleep?
Man, I just want to say this was great. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to doing this again very soon.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate you stopping through. And guys, next time we will have another podcast where we're bringing you more knowledge and more sweet, juicy stuff to help you get down the road to get to your next load to get paid in life. That's just something that I say. Get down the road to get to your next load in life. And like we all want to get that bag so we can enjoy life and not have to work every day of every minute of every hour. So remember to be blessed, less stress,
Get
guys,
paid every day of every minute of every
and
hour.
every hour. Right, right, right. That's what it is. That's what it is. But we're gonna get out of here, guys. Remember to be blessed, less stress, keep the left door closed, that right foot down. Only when it's safe, guys. And like always, guys, we will catch you on the next upload or live feed. Take
All
it
right, let's
easy,
go.
guys.
Let's get some elevation. Elevate, 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 elevate.
Elevate it all the
Elevate.
way up.
Let's go. Elevate, elevate, elevate.
So,
All right,
guys,
family.
later, guys. Later.
Around.
I'm meditating in.
Physical fathers, spiritual fathers, heavenly fathers, all of our fathers, all of our mothers, we pay homage, yeah. Physical mothers, spiritual mothers, heavenly mothers, yeah. All of our mothers, yeah. All of our fathers, we pay homage. Homage, homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Yo, Origuemio, yeah, Oreo line me, shape my character and put me in alignment. Take my 2 feet, let you guide me. Yo, all this on me, yeah, all this round me. Hold my head when I need my father. Hold my head when I gotta go farther. Can't do shame, just bring me honor. My wings what make me fly. Super the champ or the champion. Call me the champ or the champion. Turn my pain to a healing power. In a world with a massive power. Born of the world, I'm a wandering conqueror. Can't stop like waves in the water. Yo, this for my mama though. She say I don't shout out. Knowing that she gave me life. Knowing that she raised me right. Never could I count you out. And I'm glad that you're still around. Glad that you're moving around. Glad that you're smiling now. This for my father though. You say you never had me at your shows. Knowing that I'm on the road. Knowing that I'm finally grown. Second year, stage 4. Knowing that it's cancer grown. Could've let it stop him, no. But he working on his doctorate though. Around me, around me. So many spirits. So many spirits. Physical fathers, spiritual fathers, heavenly fathers. All of our fathers, all of our mothers, we pay homage, yeah. Physical mothers, spiritual mothers, heavenly mothers, yeah. All of our mothers, yeah. All of our fathers, we pay homage. Homage, homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage. Holy Spirit surround me, pouring water to the ground. My ancestors surround me, and they don't play around. Yeah, Ashe, do more puedo, do puedo, que tú puedo, to all I was, yeah. If my la, my hijo, de opatala, yeah. Epo osha, white cloth to the day that I rise. Cause all these spirits surround me, pour libation on the ground. My ancestors around me, and they don't play around. Yeah, this one's for you, this one's for you. All of our mothers, all of our fathers, we paying homage. Yeah, this one's for you. Physical fathers, spiritual fathers, heavenly fathers, all of our fathers, all of our mothers, we pay homage, yeah. Physical mothers, spiritual mothers, heavenly mothers, yeah. All of our mothers, yeah. All of our fathers, we pay homage. Homage, homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Homage and respect. Homage, homage and respect. Was all a dream. I used to think I was a human being. Now look at me, looking ahead at all the memories. Yeah. Imagine me, imagining you, imagining me. Attaining peace, you gotta sit still to be crowned as king. Oh my God, I'm in my flow state. I found God and now I know me. Brand new mode, I'm in my own lane. Those who know, you know they don't say. Those who say they know don't know a thing. My eyes closed, but I still see the way. Come home, I heard a sweet voice say, when I get the call, I'll be on the way. My spirit flying high in multicolored rain. Round and round and around I go. felt this. I found God and then I found peace. Behind those stars is where you'll find me. I'm at home inside my own dreams. Those who say they don't know a thing. My eyes closed, but I still see the way. Come home, I heard a sweet voice say, when I get the call, I'll be on the way. I'm in the present, right between the future and the past. Gotta hold on tight, cause I'm going fast. Infinite energy, eternity flow. Round and round and around we go. Limitless expansion of my soul. Round and round and around I go. Infinite energy, eternity flow. Round and round and around we go. Limitless expansion of my soul. Round and round and around I go. It was all a dream. I used to think.
Y'all already know. Got to keep the energy high, elevate, keep elevating. You know, we're going to go ahead, call this one, and let the music.
We go to sleep too late, we wake up way too early. Right now is of late, we agree that the world is way too worldly. To make it simply put, I am infatuated. And in the dark, I be here to inhale that supernatural fragrance. What's a man and a woman? What's stronger than a woman and a man? Nothing stronger than a woman with the mind of a woman and a man with the mind of a man. Except a god and a goddess. Nothing conquers a god and a goddess. When the whole world grasps this concept, I promise the world is gonna see progress. Perfection pursued, perfection is you. You rockin' that new Lotus crew. I see what you doing, I like how you do it. Can I do it with you too? You see all these bitches keep coming and coming, but they know to go just as soon as I come. I give them a choke like my hand is a rope, then I bust in their throat just as soon as I'm done. But you take my hand and start our esoteric ritual. I close my eyes and I relax as I envision you. When I get questions about religion, I might mention you. I put my faith in you, you gave me something spiritual. You part your thighs and arch your back, it's such a miracle. You close your eyes and get to chant, it's something spiritual. Elevate to heaven, levitate to something spiritual. Levitate to heaven, let me into something spiritual.
You gave me something spiritual. Without you, things would be so difficult. I once was lost, but now found. You swept me straight up from the ground. And now I'm soaring to the sky. Your spirit's in me, so I think I can fly. Stop the music, no, I'd rather die. Stop the music, no, I'd rather die.
Are we close enough? Vessels tighten as the blood rush. Can't see with my first two, but you sure open that third up. And she know how to work it from 7 up, from the lowest one to the highest up. Like every time she ride my dick, my chakras go into alignment. Deep breath, rest on me, good energy from your respiratory. Silence, this is prayer, our ritual, my ceremony. You see all these bitches keep coming and coming, but they know to go just as soon as I come. I give them a choke like my hand is a rope, then I bust in their throat just as soon as I'm done. But you take